Welcome to The Explainer. So glad you're here. Today, we're going totally beyond limits. We're diving deep into the harsh but honestly incredibly liberating truths about mental toughness, drawing straight from the philosophies behind David Goggins' concepts. Look, if you've ever felt like you're capable of so much more, but you somehow always hit a wall when the pressure cranks up, this Explainer is going to completely change how you see yourself. So let's jump right in and unpack the actual nuts and bolts of mastering your mind and will. Think back to the very last time you were, working on a massive project, grinding through a brutal workout, or just trying to build a new habit, and you just quit. You stopped simply because it started to feel a little too hard, right? The pain creeps in, the doubt starts getting loud, and you tell yourself, yeah, maybe this just isn't for me. But let's be real. What actually happened in that exact moment? Did your physical body literally break down, or did you just hand the steering wheel right over to a mind that desperately wanted to stop? It brings up a huge question. Are you controlling your mind, or is it controlling you?
Which brings us to Section 1, the trap of comfort.
Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your biggest problem isn't some inherent weakness. Nope. It's that you unknowingly give your mind way too much freedom. We act when we feel like it, and we quit when we don't. And man, your mind will constantly serve up the most incredibly convincing excuses. Stuff like, I'm exhausted, let's just start tomorrow, or it's not the right time. And we buy it. We think it's telling us the truth. But in reality, your mind is just acting as a built-in survival mechanism, desperately trying to save you from discomfort. When you hit a wall and your brain screams, stop, you usually aren't anywhere close to your actual limits. You just want the easy way out. Your actual physical limits are much, much further away than those mental boundaries you've just accepted as facts. And here's the bottom line. Your goals do not care about your mood. Think about it. If you let your wildly fluctuating moods dictate your daily actions, what's going to happen to those big dreams of yours? Moods change constantly. One day you're fired up, ready to conquer the world, and the next day you can barely muster the energy to brew a cup of coffee. But if you sit around waiting for the mood to strike before you take action, you are actively choosing to sacrifice your own future. You're basically sending a message to your brain that says, hey, you decide and I'll just blindly follow along. Moving on to Section 2. Discomfort is your training. To actually grow, we need a massive paradigm shift. See, most of us view discomfort as the ultimate enemy. But let's walk through a super relatable microcycle of your morning. Step 1, your alarm goes off. It is pitch black, it is freezing outside, and your bed is just unbelievably warm. You feel that immediate, visceral discomfort. Then, Step 2, your mind serves up a beautifully convincing excuse. And let's be real, we've all been there. Just hit snooze, sleep a little longer, I'll do the work later. Now right here is where the battle is won or lost. Step 3, you reject that excuse and take action against your own will. You literally force yourself out from under those covers. And finally, Step 4, by doing that, you've just expanded your limit. These moments might seem totally insignificant from the outside, but internally, every single time you choose discipline over that snooze button, you are literally rewiring your brain. You're teaching it that difficulty does not mean stop. Which brings us to the actual definition of mental growth. It's the process of repeatedly challenging your weakest version until the impossible becomes your new normal. Listen, mental toughness isn't some magical genetic trait you're just lucky enough to be born with. It's not a switch you can just flip on. It is built by actively, intentionally acting against your own weak thoughts. You don't just wake up suddenly strong one day. You become strong by calling out your own weak version again and again, day after day, until your absolute default reaction is resilience. All right, let's look at Section 3, build evidence, not affirmation. Okay, picture this. You've been kind of slacking off for years, right? And suddenly you stand in front of the bathroom mirror and tell yourself, I am a highly disciplined person. Guess what? Your mind completely rejects it. It knows your actual track record. Empty positive affirmations just do not work here. To build unshakable strength, you have to build an evidence wall by mining your own past. Think back. Remember those massive failures you thought would absolutely break you, but you survived? Remember that project you thought was completely impossible, but somehow you got it done? Or remember standing alone when things are incredibly hard? We have this terrible habit of obsessing over our failures for months on end, but we forget our massive victories in like 2 days. When your mind tries to tell you, you can't do this, you do not need a cheap motivational quote. You need to pull a cold, hard piece of evidence from your own life and say, hold on, I've survived worse, I have done hard things before. Because here's the secret. Confidence comes after the action, not before. So many people sit around waiting to magically feel confident before they start a hard conversation, or take a risk, or dive into a daunting project. But mental strength doesn't mean you don't feel fear. Oh, you'll feel terrified. You'll feel exhausted. You will feel immense, crushing doubt. The difference is you just no longer let those feelings make your decisions for you. You take the action while your knees are literally shaking. And that deep-rooted confidence, that's the reward you get on the other side.
This leads us right into section 4, the real competition.
There is this hidden trap that stops so many people from ever achieving mental mastery, and it's this: constantly looking to your left and your right to see who's ahead. When you compete with others, your focus depends entirely on their results. If they fail, you secretly feel good, which, let's be honest, is pretty toxic. And it just fosters external excuses like, well, they had a better start, or they had way more resources. But when you shift the competition to the person you were yesterday, wow, everything changes. Your focus shifts entirely to your own growth. Ask yourself, did I work for 30 minutes yesterday? Okay, let's do 35 today. Did I run away from a challenge yesterday? Let's face it head on today. This internal competition is literally the only way to genuinely build that evidence wall we just talked about.
So I want to issue you a challenge. Just one single thing. Imagine if, for the next year, you rejected your mind's easy choice just one time every single day. Just once a day. When you really don't want to do the work, you do it anyway. When you feel that intense urge to quit your workout 5 minutes early, you stay. In a year's time, you won't just be a bit more productive. You will have forged an unbreakable level of self-respect. You'll know deep down in your bones that when motivation completely dies and absolutely no one is watching, you can completely trust yourself to carry the weight.
And that brings us to our final part, section 5, discipline equals true freedom. There is this widespread, completely backward myth that being highly disciplined means you're just constantly punishing yourself. People think it means losing all your spontaneity and your joy in life. But honestly, if you only act when you feel like it, you aren't free at all. You're actually a slave. You are a slave to your moods, your laziness, and your cravings. Sure, a sudden burst of motivation might get you to set a huge goal today, but 3 days later, when that warm, fuzzy feeling fades, the goal just dies. That is literal slavery to your emotions. True freedom is the ability to look at your feelings, acknowledge them, and then say, you know what? I'm gonna do what is necessary regardless of what you're screaming at me right now. And the beautiful thing is, when you do this enough, discipline stops being a daily fistfight. It just becomes your identity. To tie all of this together, think about this. True strength isn't in the muscles. It's in the mind that makes the choice despite 1,000 excuses. Look, life is going to hurt. You will face failure, you'll face rejection, and you'll definitely have days where you have absolutely zero belief in yourself. The question isn't whether life will knock you down. It will. The only question that matters is, when you are down, what order are you going to give your mind? Will you just let it command you to stay down, or will you take ultimate responsibility, look your excuses dead in the eye, and command yourself to get back up? The voices of doubt inside your head will always be loud, but the final command, that must always be yours. So I want to leave you with this single lingering question. Next time you're pushing hard and your mind says stop, what will your very next step be? Because the exact moment you realize your perceived limits are just illusions designed to keep you comfortable, well, that's the moment you unlock a version of yourself you never even knew existed. You really don't need to control the entire world. You only need to control your own response. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer. Now get out there, face the discomfort, and start building that evidence wall. I'll catch you in the next one.